Hello, Beez Bladers! Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. I have a knife here that the company's like, hey, would you like to show our knife? Right now it's half off and we have a $20 coupon or 20% coupon on Amazon. We'll give you another 30% coupon if you'll show it to your viewers. I was like, to carry the one minus the two. This is going to end up being a $10 knife. So I was like, yeah, D2 knife, G10 handles, $10. Are you kidding me? Yes, I will show it. And I'll put a link in the description where you can get this and the code. They gave me a code. I'll put that down there too. I don't even know what it is. This is the Berry Cell 6097. The Berry Cell 6097. Would you look at it? Just look at it. It's a banger. And this is, oh, okay. You know what? Look at this. We'll get in there for a little bit of texture vision. It has very nice grippy texture on the scales. I don't know what you would call that, a wavy pattern, but wow, it does work very well. And I can tell from this side that it is not a reversible clip. And from looking at the pictures, I already know that this is not a tip-up carry. This is a tip-down carry. That is something you hardly ever see these days. This used to be the only way that people carried their pocket knives. Now, I would say most people have switched to tip-up. However, there's a lot of folks in my videos, they're like, or in the comments, they're like, dude, why can't you ever do tip-down? There's people that want to carry their knives in their pocket like this. Now, let me wipe this off so I won't get the oil on everything. But unless there are major flaws or major problems with this knife, I can't see how $10 for this is going to be bad at all. Now, it does have cage ceramic bearings. I don't know if this is a captive pivot. You can't see this side of the pivot because you would have to take the pocket clip off to get to this side of the pivot. So we'll check that out here maybe at the end of the video, unless I forget. Are you ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Oh, okay. That's a pretty nice looking knife. It looks like some other knives that I've seen. Maybe it's an homage to another. There's another knife brand. I can't remember. It looks a lot like, I just can't picture out which one it is. But it has a very nice looking stonewash blade. Like I said, it's D2. It feels very nice. And boy, I like the feel on this G10. Big forward choil. We'll check out the action, fit, finish, ergos, all of that here in the next few seconds. Now, I only saw that they had one version or one color. So they went with the OD green and black. You can't go wrong with that. And let's see if I feel anything. I'm not feeling any burrs on either side. So it feels relatively sharp. So that's not a bad thing. Now, how about left and right? Oh, okay. Up and down. Oh, okay. So left and right, I'm not getting any movement. Up and down, maybe just 0.5. Just if I really tweak it the right way. Otherwise, no, there's no movement left to right, up and down. What's our lockup? The lockup is, I would say, let's see if you can see in there. I would say it's about 65, 70%. So the lockup's over a little far. And then how's the centering right out of the box? The centering is off to the clip side just a little bit, but keeping in mind that this is a $10 knife, I don't think I can complain. Now, let me give you a couple quick size comparisons. And I tell you what, I hope you're having a fantastic day. This is the QSP Penguin, because everybody should have a Penguin, right? And then here is the CJRB Pyrite. So a little bit bigger than those. And now let's check out, you know, we always put up the staples. We've got a little bit of Civivi Elementum going on. So this is this is a medium-sized knife. So we're getting into the like regular category. Now I got these out because I wanted to see, okay, here we go. Here's the Civivi Praxis and here is the Civivi Mini Praxis. Similar look to them, not exactly, but a similar look. Let me change these around because we do have a little bit of an angle going on. So, you know, got to give you a little bit of perspective. There's one thing we can do while we have it on the table, and that is see how long this bad boy is. So it's coming in at about 7.8 inches. Your sharpen length is about 2.85 inches, and your total blade length is coming in at about 3.3 inches. But you're less than 3 inches of a sharpen length. Your handle length is 4.45 inches. So yeah, that should give you a really good idea of what size we're stepping with, or stepping in, or smelling, or I always have to say something like that, right? Let's get a weight, and then we're going to check out the action and the ergos and see how well the pass-through works. So this bad boy's coming in at 4.24 ounces. So it's a little over the 4-ounce mark. And random fact, did you know that Elvis was originally blonde? He started coloring his hair black for an edgier look. If you didn't know, now you know. Now let's check out the ergonomics and all that fun stuff. So the fit, is really well. As far as the finish, I'm not seeing any problems, especially when you're talking about a $30 knife that is marked down to 10 bucks. I don't see an issue with that. Now, the lockup, it's a little farther than what you usually see, and I'm trying to see if I see the bearings in there. I would bet $10 that these are steel bearings, and they're not going to be that easy to get to. That looks like at least a T8 right there. Now, my hand is 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 from here to here, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger is 7.25. And let's see how she feels. Okay, not too shabby. Now, I am feeling this clip in my hand. I'm not used to feeling a clip up there, but you know what? All in all, when I'm gripping this and pushing down, oh, and we have some jimping. Look at this. And this is very aggressive jimping. Wow. So if you like aggressive jimping, it's definitely on the aggressive side. I can say that it is nice not feeling a pocket clip down here. So back here where you're holding it and really gripping it into your hand to do some push cutting, that's not too bad. I can't complain a whole lot. Now, one thing I'm feeling is this dude right here in the center of my palm. It's not hateful. Now let's move up and see what it feels like this. You know, that's not too bad either. And I'm keeping the price range into consideration on what you're getting here for a $10 knife. The whole time that I'm holding this knife, I can feel this clip. It's like, hey, how's it going? It's definitely a warm spot. It's not hateful. I don't think it's gonna affect how I cut with it. If I'm doing some pushing through some boxes or pull cuts, I don't think I'm gonna have any problems with that either. It's a little thin up here on the spine, so for your finger, for your thumb, it's a little less of a landing spot. Now, if I'm holding it farther back here, that jimping is working as a nice ramp to push. And yes, that is very aggressive jimping. But for a knife that you're gonna like throw in the truck or the tackle box or the camping kit or just have it sitting on your toolbox, I don't know. I don't think that's too bad. Now I'm checking out right now to see how this, how is this pass through? The action seems to be pretty smooth, has a good sound to it. I had to get past the kind of like a secondary spot there on the detent, or getting past the detent ball. Now, let me feel. There is adequate pass-through. You are able to get through here. There's no issue with that. Now, you do kind of have to push just a little bit. If you look here at my thumb, see how it leaves a little spot? But using as a banger knife, I don't think that's going to be too bad. I mean, this is going to be a nice banger for sure. If you're getting into bags of mulch or something like that, you know, a little swink, 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 I don't think that's going to be too bad. You know, it's not often that you get a knife of this size with, you know, D2 and G10 for $10. I mean, you really can't be that nitpicky when you're coming to that. Now, the action is good. Has good sound to it. Now, I do have a little bit of this. I have some blade lash. I can't remember what you call that. Now, if you look here, when I push down on the flipper, I'm getting movement before it lets go. So right here, I have that much play. I can't remember what you would call that. I can't remember. Somebody will say in the comments. And by the way, every Friday night, Beez Blades live at the Hive. Oh, right. We'll talk about this in detail. All the knives that you see on the channel, we talk about. Now, up and down, I can feel it. It's like a 1 out of 10 is just the slightest amount of movement. Not very much. So that would be one thing to note. One other thing. One thing to notice is the clip. The other is that right there. That lash, that before it lets go. So it feels to me like maybe the hole is a little larger than the detent ball, so the detent ball can move just a little bit in there. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. It does have an adequate detent. When you go like that, it comes out like pow, right in the kisser. There is no jimping on this giant tab, but then again, it's only a $10 knife, so I don't think I can really complain about that either. Now, real quick, like, we'll see. I'm just gonna see. I don't know what this thing is put together with. I don't know if it has super glue or how it's held together. If it's easy to take apart, we'll take it apart real quick and take a quick look on the inside. And, you know, I used to do disassemblies all the time. Oh, okay. Looks like this might be possible. I used to do a lot of disassemblies. I do have a disassembly playlist, which covers most Loctites. So if you want to learn how to disassemble your knife and clean your knife, I have a playlist, and this is a spinning pivot, which doesn't surprise me whatsoever with this being such a budget knife. So that means I'll need 2 T8s. Let me grab one. And that's why I definitely would tell people, if you're just getting into knives and taking your knives apart and cleaning them, that I would recommend getting you a couple sets to start out, because I guarantee one of the first knives that you take apart will be a more budget knife, because you're a little scared, you're a little apprehensive, and it'll spin and you'll be like, well, now how do I take it apart? Then you'll need one on this side to go like this, and then one on this side, so the pivot doesn't spin and you can take the pivot out. And let's see what's happening here. Is it coming out? Am I making progress? Yeah, I think it's coming out. All right, so is it letting loose? Oh, okay, it came out this side. So if you're gonna take it apart, the screw will come out on this side right here, on the show side, or the pivot will. All right, so knowing that, we already have the pivot out. Let me go over here and, well, I mean, you know, it's not the direction I like to take my knives apart, but let me see if I can get in here and take this. Oh, what am I doing? I haven't disassembled a knife in too long. I have to take the body screws out. I like doing things off the cuff like this. You know, I have a lot of content to make, a lot of knives to share with all of you, and especially depending on when you're watching it, this time of year, there are so many knives and so many knife companies like, oh, would you mind getting our content out so people can see it? So here's a look at the inside. It does have steel ball bearings, and they're caged steel ball bearings, and it looks like it has some kind of grease or some kind of lube. It's definitely like a black grease going on. Let me clean that off. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a black grease or having grease. There's different greases that are really, really good to use on your knives. I just prefer something lighter, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, see how clean that looks? Ooh, so shiny. So yeah, no problems with that. And let's see what it looks like. Now, I didn't have any problems with it being smooth or not being smooth, but we do have some schmutz on there from the factory. And let's see what it looks like now. So now it's nice and clean. And let's check out this other side right here. And I already have my pivot right there. Yeah, this grease is just not something that I see very often. Sometimes I'll see the grease in the more budget knives, but not very often do I see it. And there you go. A little bit of ball bearing action. I always love looking at the ball bearings. And if you're driving down the road right now, just listening, and you're going to watch this later, I hope you're having a fantastic day. And when you come to the live stream, that's where we talk about all the knives and the gear and the flashlights, folding pocket knives, everyday carry gear. That's where we talk about it. Now you can see here that I've cleaned this off, that it is not a caged, or not a cage. It is not a D-shaped pivot. So that's why it was spinning on us. So now let's get this bad boy back together. I'm not doing a super clean or anything of that nature on it. So let's put this dude here, and then I'm going to get my KPL. Where's my KPL? I have KPL knife pivot lube. I still have a discount to them, by the way. We haven't talked about KPL. It's because, well, everybody gets in the knife world and you just assume that everybody has it. But and I don't even remember if I'm putting these back the direction they were. But I don't know that that's going to make a huge difference in this case. Let's get this dude. I'm just going to put one little drop in here, and that's going to spin around, and this is going to spin around. This just, you know, that grease probably worked just fine. And I doubt with this knife that you're going to be fretting or worrying heavily about the action of it. But I didn't have any complaints with the action as it was. We'll put it together like this and see what happens. Here's a look at the inside. You can see all that looby-doob, and there's my little screw. Yeah, this thing is lubed to the max from the factory. I'm going to clean this off. There we go, much better. Now I'm not going to get it on everything and all over everything. So let's see if we can get this dude back together without any major problems. So it's a little different that the way this is designed on this side, and the way the pivot comes through like this, that this is just setting on top. So it's going to be just kind of sitting there. And oh, almost forgot. I got to make sure I got my little stop pin back here. And let's see if I can get everything lined up. And I'm not it's been a while since I've done this on camera, so I'm not used to slowing myself down. So let's get this lined up and get this bad boy on here, and then we'll start putting some screws in it and get this thing back together. And another fun fact, did you know that candy corn was originally called chicken feed? That's what it was originally called. So it makes you wonder what made them change the name. Do you think people are going to think this is really chicken feed or something like that? It always makes me wonder. I love all these random facts. We've been doing random facts on the live stream lately, and I've been adding them to the videos. And if you're still watching this, that means you're either a Beez Blader and you enjoy the channel and you're a subscriber or a channel member, or you're learning about knives and you're like, oh, that's what the inside of a pocket knife looks like. Okay, very, very interesting. And the random facts are fun. Let me know if you enjoy when I pop a random fact into a video now and then. I think it's fun, but if it gets on your nerves and you're an old grumpy guy and you're like, I don't need to know that crap. This is a knife video. You're not serious enough. You should be more serious about your knives. I do get that from the grumpy folks. So let's see what it feels like here. Is it solid? Nope, a little wobbly. All right, let's see how that feels. Oh yeah, look at that. Got it tightened up, and now the blade is centered, so maybe it just wasn't quite tight enough from the get-go. Let's see how this feels. So it does not as drop shutty. However, it does feel more solid, and let's see. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We no longer have that lash. Now oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we do. It's still there, but just a little bit. It feels it's not doing it when I put my finger on the flipper. So that feels more solid. There was something about it earlier. See, just a little bit of tweak makes a difference. Let's put this pocket clip back on and then wrap this up. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you have any bangers? When's the last time you spent 10 bucks and bought a banger knife? The one that you're not worried about if something happens to it, or if you lose it, if you forget it on the side of a fish bank, or, when I'm out working on my workbench, I don't typically grab a nicer knife out of my pocket if I'm going to be doing some scraping or stuff like that. And I just want a hard use tool that if something happens, I'm not worried about it. I mean, that's what kind of knife this is. Just a working knife that you're not worried about if anything happens to. So let's get back to the main screen. So there you go. There's the Berry Cell 6097. And, overall, it's a great knife for $10. I don't think I can complain. The only nitpicks would be that the lockup is already over quite a ways. And then another thing would be if you don't like a tip down carry, but if you're going to be having this on the bench, I don't think that's going to be an issue either. And then the only other thing would be is if this amount of movement bothers you at all. It doesn't affect the detent or the fact that the blade is held in. Let's see. The blade is not going to fall out on you. So the detent works. You just have a little bit of that detent lash going on. So let me know, what do you think about the Berry Cell 6097? Do you enjoy the disassemblies? I'll try to do them more often if I get enough votes. Maybe we'll do that. Now go watch this video. You'll really enjoy that. And until I see you again in the lives or the chats or the hive stream, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.